Preparing your dashboard layout is kind of a creative process. We need to think about what information and how it's presented is going to resonate the most with stakeholders. Now, it's certainly possible to change a layout down the track. It's a little bit more tricky to do it that way, so I tend to build the framework from the get-go. What you're looking at is the framework of a Power BI model. It's already been connected to a data source. Specifically, this model has been connected to some e-commerce sales data. And we can see that by clicking on the data icon on the left-hand side of the screen. And here it is. Let's go back to the dashboard screen now by clicking on the first icon here called Report. Now let's go and click on Insert from the menu options and then go ahead and click on Text Box. We're going to give our dashboard a title. The title that I'm going to use is Red 30 Sales Report. Let's now resize the heading to fit the width of the dashboard, and I'm also going to make it a little bit smaller as well. With the text selected, click on the center align icon from the font options. Now let's increase the font to say 44. And with the text still selected, let's go ahead and make it bold by clicking on the B icon here. Now, as you can see, we've made this a little bit smaller than we would have liked, so simply drag it to make it a little bit longer. How about we now change the text color to white, simply by clicking the drop-down box here next to font, and let's change the color to white. And finally, we should now change the background color to black so we can still see the heading. You'll find this option to the right here under Visualizations. All we need to do is click on Background and click on the drop-down next to Color and select Black. Finally, let's change the default page name to something a little bit more meaningful, such as Summary Report. To do this, simply double-click on page 1 at the bottom of the screen and type over the existing text with something a little bit more meaningful, such as Summary Report, and hit Enter on the keyboard. Now, we can always come back to this later on and enhance it even further, but this should give you an idea of some of the practical tools that we can apply to prepare a dashboard layout for stakeholders. Selecting the most appropriate chart for your data is more difficult than it might seem. Like a kid in a candy store, sometimes there's just too much choice. And certainly with Power BI, there's an ever-growing suite of charting options. So my strong advice is to just have a go, knowing that it's dead easy to change a chart if it doesn't look quite right. What you're looking at is the framework of a Power BI dashboard for an e-commerce business. One of the most common charts that we can use when it comes to e-commerce sales data is a line chart. So let's go ahead and create one by clicking on Line Chart under Visualizations. Now, it doesn't look overly exciting at the moment, does it? And that's just because we haven't yet linked it to our data. So let's change that. From the fields on the right-hand side, let's drag the order date and drop it over Axis. Now at this point, Power BI may apply a default date hierarchy. If so, let's change it to order date simply by clicking on the drop-down box next to order date, and if date hierarchy is selected here, simply change it to order date. Now let's drag the order total from the right-hand side and drop it over values. Looks pretty, huh? Well, whilst we're at it, how about we resize the chart to take up a little bit more of the dashboard viewing area? Okay, now let's go ahead and add a waterfall chart. A waterfall chart is a really good way of looking at aggregate sales. All we have to do is select Waterfall Chart, and from the fields on the right-hand side, let's drag Product Category and drop it over category, and then drag the quantity field and drop it over values. This chart shows us the aggregate, that is the total number of product sales from left to right in order of the most to least sales volumes. Now, as you can see, there's an incredible range of charting options available in Power BI, but this should give you just a taste for what's possible.